Welcome to the Simply Real Life podcast. I'm Sarah, the founder of Simply Real Health, here to help you simplify, amplify, and elevate your life. This show is for those of you who want the real talk on how to live a more intuitive and intentional life, a life that's healthy from the inside out, and one that feels more effortless, aligned, simple, and more alive. We cover it all, from health, wellness, mindset, motherhood, daily habits and rituals, to business and relationships, creativity and growth, and tiny tricks to feeling your best, and the energetics behind it all filled with personal stories, unfiltered conversations, and of course, answering all of your burning questions, all in the way of simplicity and keeping it real, so that you can create your own version of your healthiest life. Let's do it. Hello, and welcome back to the show this week. I'm so glad that you are here, and great job just taking a minute for yourself. I know I say this every week, but to me, podcasts, it's like tapping into somebody else's energy. And sometimes we need that, like a different perspective on something or an idea to try or something to shake us out of our ruts and our routines. And I always find it so helpful, first of all, being really picky about who I allow into my ears and into my life and into my thoughts, into my headspace. And so to me, this is such a gift, and I don't take that lightly. And to me, listening to podcasts is one of the easiest ways to do that, to just get a little bit of a lift or a little bit of a different energy in the course of our daily lives. When things are busy and we're on the go or we're at home going through our normal daily routines, it's such a great way to change your state and to change your thoughts and perspective on things. So just wanted to tell you, I think you're doing an amazing job listening to this right now. People choose so many different ways to use their time, and I think it's amazing that you are here. Okay, today we are answering a burning question, and that was to talk about my morning and evening skincare routine and what it looks like now. And for those of you who have been following along for any amount of time, you know that my routines have a lot of non-negotiables in them that I just do no matter what. That's how I make sure I'm showing up for myself day in and day out and staying healthy, whether that's mentally, physically, or emotionally. I rely a lot on my daily non-negotiables. But also seasonally, I make changes to keep things fun, because sometimes we forget that being healthy is actually supposed to be fun. It's supposed to feel good. We're supposed to feel so good and lit up in our bodies and our lives. And I think there's something to be said about every season doing things that mix things up a little bit. And not only is that good for us physically, it's good for our bodies. It's good for our digestive system physically to be eating different things, not just the same thing every day, but it keeps it fun and it keeps it exciting. And even with things like skincare, that same principle also applies. Your skin will get used to the products if you're using them every single day. And that's the same routine day in and day out. Plus, with different seasons, we get different weathers. There's different things going on that we may need to think about a little bit more, things like maybe more sunscreen, or we're changing up the oil, or you may experience more dryness in the summer. You know, there's different elements that are at play in the environment as well as internally in our lives and what we're going through as well, and all of which are expressed through our skin. So here's a quick little rundown of what I am doing now. So this is in a season of life where I have 3 kids. My time is not plentiful. So I really want to make the most of the minutes that I do have, and especially the minutes that I am pouring into myself. And for me, my morning skincare and evening skincare routine, they're not elaborate, but they really do serve a purpose way beyond physically taking care of my skin, but this purpose and reminder that I am worth taking care of my skin and my body and my health. Like I am worth taking care of. Like I am worth treating myself well. I am worth slowing down for a minute or two. So focus on doing one thing. It's like such an act of presence in your life to refuse all the distractions, just focus on one thing. And for those of you who have been around for a while, you also know that my mentality and my mindset around my skin is very similar to how I think about food, which is much more in the European way of thinking about your life, which is that you take care of yourself, not necessarily from vanity, but because you feel worthy of that and because you want to age in a way that you have this glow and this energy about you from the inside out. And I think that comes from confidence. It comes from taking care of yourself in these small ways, where I think the American fixation is on perfection and complete smooth skin and no wrinkles and like layering on tons of makeup and everybody looking the same and looking like AI versions of ourselves and looking at influencers or people like the Kardashians. It's like all of these impact the ways that we look at ourselves. And to me, I've always so much more related to the French approach, both with eating and being present and slowing down, but also how they take care of themselves. It's just a part of their routines in their daily life. They walk everywhere. They eat fresh food because that's their normal. They slow down. They're with each other. They take care of themselves. It's not in this overly obsessive perfectionist way. It's just in this way that's like, this is what I do. This is who I am. This is what I am worthy of. This is what my skin is worthy of. This is the food my body is worth eating. And that perspective really informs like a lot of how and why I choose the products that I do and how I choose to take care of my skin in the world of 10-step skincare routines. Mine is very simple. It's focused on elasticity and moisture most of all, as I gain the wonderful gift of wisdom and years in my life. What a gift that is. But I want to take care of the skin that I have, and not look like somebody else, but look like the best version of me. And so the products I choose, and then also how I layer them, how I use them, how I mix them up is at the very basis of this philosophy that I have. Okay. So all of that being said, the products that I use are all natural. They are non-toxic. They are things I've been able to use both when I'm pregnant and not pregnant. There's not a lot of chemicals in these things. And that's the way I want it. I feel totally safe and comfortable snuggling with my kids. If they want to try any of these products, which has been happening lately, it's so cute. The best thing. I'm doing my morning routine. They'll come in for a little face spray or come in like, Mom, can I have some of that lip balm? Or can I have a little bit of lotion on my face? I'm like, sure. What a great feeling to say sure and not have to think like, what is in this? Or rubbing it up against my baby, holding her cheek to cheek. It's like, I don't have to worry about that. And I love it. These are products that I love. They are my everyday go-tos right now. Some things change, but there's some things that absolutely stay the same no matter the season. And so this is what it looks like right now. Right now, in the morning when I wake up, the first thing that I do for my skin is put on a vitamin C. And I can link these products below. Doing a vitamin C specifically in the summer because I have some hyperpigmentation and some little melasma stuff left over from pregnancy. So vitamin C helps naturally fade any scarring or sunspots and also prevents them from happening. So in the summer, I really try to do the vitamin C serum every day. I do that first, then I follow it with either the Primally Pure Plumping Serum or the Primally Pure Smoothing Serum. And I love both of these. I kind of interchange them just depending on the smell that I want to use that day. But it just gives your skin this really smooth, dewy, glowy look. And it feels like my skin just drinks it in. It immediately sucks up all this moisture and it has a different texture when I put it on my skin. And I immediately feel more awake. But the reason I do that is twofold. I feel like I'm flooding my skin with nutrients. And then over top of that, I do the antioxidant balm, which a couple months ago, I was telling you all, sharing on stories. I am obsessed with this antioxidant balm. This is my number one. This is their secret sleeper product. Why aren't more people talking about this? I don't know. It's relatively new in their product line, but I'm obsessed. You scoop it out with your fingers, a tinted red, so it almost gives your skin the look of self-tanner in the morning. And so I'm putting that over the serum. So this is extra, right? But I am in the stage of my life where I need a little extra glowiness. I need a little extra moisture. We all do as we age. It all becomes about moisture and dewiness. So I put the antioxidant balm over the serums and then I'll spray either the everything spray or the soothing mist spray all over my face. So my face is almost wet at this point. And then I take my facial cupping tool and I do a quick cupping session or just facial massage. You can even just do this with your hands or gua sha or some type of roller, but you're really just moving the lymph and the fluid out of your face, like moving puffiness. So I go around behind my ears. I open up the channels around my neck. This is very brief, but going through each area of my body again, instead of trying to rush through this process, this is my moment for myself to tend and take care of myself. So I take a few deep breaths and kind of setting myself up for the day, going through what am I wanting to focus on? How do I want to feel today? Making the most of this time that I have to myself, a few quick minutes in the morning. So after my face is wet and I'm doing some type of facial massage, it releases some of the static lines that come from sleeping overnight and waking my face up, I tend to go with a cupping tool most of all because it feels the most efficient. And I notice the biggest difference when I use that. It's not every single day, it just depends on what I have time for. But I like to rotate between those tools, but I reach for the cupping tool the most because it feels like it gets the job done the best and that I notice and feel such a difference. Now, at this point, sometimes I will maybe mix in a little bit of natural self-tanner, just depending on the week. I do half self-tanner and half of the antioxidant balm, and I mix it together with my finger, and then I just put it on my cheeks. So I'm not like an all-over self-tanner person. I'm still not fully convinced, even with self-tanner is natural, that it still is okay for us. So I just do in really small amounts and just on my cheeks, and I mix it half and half with a lotion or usually the antioxidant balm. So then I am ready to go. Skincare wise for the morning. I usually, if I'm doing makeup, I don't do that until later in the morning. I really do try to let my skin either breathe with nothing on it, or I'll do just a tinted moisturizer. I very rarely ever wear foundation. I really pour a lot of my resources and time just in taking good care of my skin so that I don't have to be covering it up and clogging my pores and putting all kinds of chemicals and stuff off my face. So I really go with this energy of taking good care of my skin itself and feeding it with nutrients that I would eat. If it's food grade and nourishing in that way, then it's something I also feel great about putting on my skin. So that is the morning routine. Again, I can link these products below, but really wakes up the face, drains it out, and mentally is my time to myself, my 5 minutes to pull myself together before rolling into the day with everybody else's needs and breakfast and kids, and the baby needs to be nursed and fed. And so all these different things. So now in the evening, it's similar, but I play around with a few different products. In the evening, I start with my cleansing oil. That is my ride or die. I will never go back to not oil cleansing. It has changed my skin. It's so simple. It feels delightful. It feels like you're at a spa. You put the oil on your face and then you take a warm washcloth and you just gently rub it off, and it takes off all the makeup. It takes off everything. Your skin just feels so soft and nourished instead of stripped down, which is what other cleansers tend to do. But lately, I've been experimenting and playing with doing a double cleanse. So doing an oil cleanse first. And this is in the shower. I do a nightly shower. So sometimes I'll just put on my cleansing oil, pop in the shower, wipe it off of the washcloth. And then I'll keep the Plumping bar from Primally in the shower. And then I'll do like another extra cleanse. And I do this more in the summer because of sometimes I have more sunscreen on my face if we've been out in the sun for a while, or the tinted moisturizer I use has some SPF in it. So I'm just doing a double cleanse and it feels great. It doesn't feel drying. I used to be afraid of double cleansing for that reason, but it's really a nice little treat for yourself. And I feel like my skin definitely notices a difference and then absorbs the product I'm putting on it after even better. So after I have clean skin, then I am playing around with the One Skin brand. So this is a peptide that I am very impressed with. I've been using this for about 6 months now. And the difference I see, of course, we're all hoping for this miracle overnight cure that looks the same as Botox, but it's not Botox. It's not that, but I've definitely noticed a reduction in the depth of lines and static wrinkles. Like they're just a little more plump and less. They are slight as opposed to more deep. And so they have a face lotion. So if you're more of a lotion fan instead of serums or oils, I'm so much more of a serum oil girl for sure. But they have a face lotion and an eye cream that I have been doing for the eye cream the last 3 months, the face lotion for about 6 months, off and on, not every night. But I do think that it really works. It's a little pricey, but it is natural. It's non-toxic. And to me, it feels like an investment that I want to make because I'm not doing other procedures, that I'd rather put my money towards really good skincare. I don't do a lot of facials. I don't do a lot of other procedures of any kind. And so this is where I choose to invest. And so it's a really cool brand about peptides that really help like from the inside out with cell skin regeneration and taking away senescent cells, which are the cells that are dying off. So it's a very fascinating technology, and you can read more about it if you want. I'll put the links to these below, but I have been loving that at night. Then in some of the areas that I feel like are more dry, like I always like to do an extra layer of the antioxidant balm. I put my antioxidant balm over my under eyes as well, even after I do the One Skin under eye cream, and like locking in moisture for overnight. I don't put the balm all over my face because sometimes it rubs off and it has a little bit of an orangish color. So if you're particular about your sheets or pillowcases, For me, I put it under my eyes and I wear like a silk sleep mask over my eyes. So it only gets a little bit on the sleep mask and not anything else. And then I have been loving, as you know, doing face tape. So I just use it up on my forehead where more of my static lines are, my wisdom lines, laugh lines. And I love that. I do that probably 4 to 5 times a week. It's this very soft Japanese face tape. And the thought is that it just helps remove the movement that we're making that's not conscious. And we all do it in our sleep. I had no idea how much I was moving my face and tensing my jaw and all different types of muscles. But with the tape on at night, it feels like it relaxes my whole forehead. And when I take off the tape, you definitely notice a difference. There are way less static lines, but then they do come back during the day. So some people are like, it doesn't work. And of course, it's not a miracle cure. But to me, it feels like, why not? It's relatively cheap. A huge roll of face tape is about $25 to $30, and you cut the pieces. It will last for a pretty long time. To me, it feels like a no-brainer. Like, why not such a small thing for an impact that I feel like over time really does count. Like over the course of years of your life, putting something on that minimizes movement of your facial muscles that you're not even aware that you're doing. I'm like, why not? It's something that can go over product. The antioxidant balm is a little slick for it to hold on. So if I'm doing the antioxidant balm, again, I just like put it under my eyes or around my lips or a little bit on my cheeks. I tend to not do it on my forehead if I'm going to do face tape that night because it doesn't stick as well. But doing like a regular face cream or lotion or regular serum, the face tape absolutely works. So that is the rundown. That is the current stack of skincare and products that I'm trying. There's also some that I'll just mention here because I do like to rotate them in and out, and I think that they're great for summer. So one is the Osea body oil. It's amazing. Like this is what I wear if I'm going out or getting dressed. It's this beautiful oil. It's seaweed based, but it smells amazing and it makes your skin feel so good and brings this beautiful glow. I love it. I am obsessed with it. I use it all throughout the year, but something about summer on my legs, love using that after a bath or shower or when I'm getting ready to go out. They have a seaweed serum that it feels almost like, aloe vera gel. It has like that consistency where it's cooling on your face and nothing feels better in the summer than cooling gel. I will also say the same for having a little mini ice roller in the freezer. I mean, talk about like a midday reset, or if I didn't have time to do a facial massage or cupping in the morning, I'll oftentimes just use my mini ice roller when I'm walking around doing stuff in the morning, and it feels like a total reset for your face. And that's just like a quick, easy thing to do. Another thing you can do is putting any sunscreen. I love the Primally Pure. They just came out with their sunscreen line and it's so good. I don't really share it with the kids, just mostly for me, but they have a sunscreen stick. I keep it in the fridge. And then I also keep their sunscreen in the fridge because to me, when I'm putting on sunscreen, if I'm going to be out in the sun for long periods of time, that's when I put it on. And nothing feels better than having it nice and cold, especially on a hot day. So that is the current stack I'm loving and using right now, the things I feel like that are definitely making a difference, especially over time. And with the concept of feeding and nourishing your skin from the inside out. Obviously, the biggest way, the most efficient way to have great skin is to be eating real food and drinking lots of water. I mean, it's boring and it's simple, but it really does work and make a difference. The state of your gut, the state of your insides is reflecting out on your skin. By far, that's the best way to spend your time and money, I think, if you want to have great skin. But then these products, I feel like to me, just elevate everything and really do tend, feed, nurture the skin and really help me feel great, even when life is busy. So I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions at all, feel free to come find me at Simply Real Health over on Instagram. Just send me a DM or message. I'm happy to chat more about any of this. I hope you guys are having a great week and that this inspires you to take care of your skin and the body that you're in. I love you all. See you back here next week. If you enjoyed this episode and want more like it, make sure you're subscribed to the Simply Real Life podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, and maybe share it with a friend or two. That would mean the world.